What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingNudes.com and welcome back to you, Magic, to Blinkers Off. How are you feeling today, my friend?
Pretty great. I'm busy, but I can't say that to you because I think this is your sixth show that you've done so far today. So on top of the preview that you did for the Starlet Stakes, which is now over at our YouTube channel and RacingDudes.com, you can check that out. But yeah, I'm excited. We've got Oaklawn. Wow, I can't speak. I'm so excited. Oaklawn opening weekend. Gulfstream's back on the turf. We got some great turf action there. We're not going to talk about on this show. That'll be Magic Mike an hour from now, but. Lots of good races, fun stuff to talk about. And you buried the lead on Twitter, bro. You're drawing for the Racing Dudes 10th annual Triple Crown phasing. By the way, 10th annual. Did you ever think this would last 10 years?
I didn't know that the website would last 10 years, let alone this thing. So yeah, it's pretty shocking. We started it just Jared and I, then we added Slim, and then we added 3 or 4 more people, and now we've got a full 10 teams and some pairings with some of those teams. So. No, I didn't. It's going to be fun. We're going to make everybody wait till the end that's here. Shoddy and Davey, their new players, are waiting. We're waiting till the end to do that. But don't worry, we're not going to have that long of a show today. So what we're going to do for you, we're having a little intro here. Then we're going to do 4 stakes races, kind of rapid fire-ish. And then we will get to a little something special from Magic. And then we will draw. So does that sound good to you, Magic?
Sounds excellent.
All right. Hey, one thing I wanted to ask you, because I know everybody's kind of doing some prep, and I know you have as well. Does it feel like, as of right now, this is a lot better crop than it was at this time last season?
Absolutely. And actually, if you go back and look at the draft for the Triple Crown Fantasy League last year, it's on YouTube if you want to go check it out. It starts off with everyone kind of going, we're not so sure about this crop. Corniche was the juvenile winner. He was a Baffert horse and he was undefeated. And he went first overall, and it made sense at the time. You look back on it now and you're like, damn, he never made a start that qualified for the fantasy league. He didn't make a start till after the Triple Crown was over. But yeah, it was this year. And I've been talking to Vinny about it. We've got a few horses we obviously know who's going to go first overall because John and Ryan always get the first overall pick. So we know who John's going to want to take. But, the top 2 or 3 or 4, we're all very confident are who's going to be taken there. And it's just a matter of what order they go. But you couldn't have said the same last year.
Yeah, last year was just a freaking mess. And this year I feel like we do have a lot more data to go off of. So listen, hopefully it works out and hopefully it stays strong throughout. I mean, I think people are starting to get a little bit down on this class as they face olders and they don't really fare quite as well as you would hope with Rich Strike and with Zandon. So yeah, we'll just see. Yeah, Magic, you're not in costume, but who knows? You might be soon.
I've been busy today. I had a dog appointment I had to go drop him off at. I still have an Apple appointment for my phone later today. It is a crazy day for me. And again, you're doing 18 different shows. So
yeah, it's been a wild day, but that's all right. That's what we're here for. And I'm excited. And Oaklawn's tomorrow. I'm very excited. I want to talk Oaklawn, Magic. Can we do that? Can we try to make the people some money before we get into our selfish fantasy league?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oaklawn opening weekend. This is where it's at. Let's do it.
All right, let's go. All right, here we go. Oaklawn opening weekend. Let's go, Magic.
A stupid, naive, silly little goose.
All right, Magic. Let's get to Oaklawn and let's get to opening day. I don't know who he was talking about. Could be you. Let's get to Oaklawn. Let's get to opening day. And let's get to that first race, or excuse me, that first stakes race of the meet on Friday, December 9th. It is the Advent Stakes at Oaklawn. Like I said, 5.5 furlongs, $150,000 purse for the 2-year-olds. Field of 9. I got him up on the screen now. Where are we going, Magic?
Well, whether or not you think he's going to win, you have to start with the 5 Tyler's Tribe, a horse that the smallest margin of victory in 5 wins was 6.5 lengths. Every single time was just absolutely looked loaded, and he was facing Prairie Meadows horses, but twice it was open company stakes that he won. They thought he was more of a sprinter than a 2-turn horse, and that's why at the Breeders' Cup, they're like, well, let's try the juvenile turf sprint. Sharp Azteca, freshman sire, has been throwing lots of good turf sprinters. You thought maybe it was going to work out. He ran without Lasix that day, and that's why he had a bad effort. You see, he eased, vanned off, and bled. He just had that pulmonary hemorrhage that it unfortunately happened, and I'm glad, by the way, speaking of Lasix, that we're focusing on the true things while Peter Miller's off winning training titles. No, we're going to get rid of the Lasix in the sport. That's what matters. But Tyler's Tribe is not only undefeated, dirt sprinting 5.5 or 6 furlongs. He's not even touched in those spots. It's a higher class of horses here, but it's so hard to see this horse losing.
You talked about the Lasix thing, and it is frustrating. Here you have this feel-good story going into the Breeders' Cup, and then the horse bleeds for a medication. Didn't let him have Lasix, which is just it's another discussion altogether. It's just sickening that this feel-good story ends, and basically about 3 furlongs, and that horse, the problem started, and it was pretty bad. It was one of the worst ones I've ever seen. It was pretty visible. A lot of time when a horse bleeds, you don't really see it, but it looked pretty bad. I'm with you. He's got to be the one to beat, right? He looks like the fastest horse on paper. He has beaten Open Company before. It was at Prairie Meadows, but he did face Open Company a few times and win. He looks like he's loose on the lead in this spot. I'm just a little worried, Magic. This 3 too much info for Diodoro coming over from the turf of Ellis, now running on the dirt. He's got a lot of speed too, and I just feel like Diodoro's have been waiting for this horse to kind of get him going. If you're not going Tyler's Tribe, who are some other ones you're kind of interested in?
Well, I was going to say the 3 too much info. I know that's one that the preview of racingnews.com, I know that was a horse that you talked about a lot. The 7 Frosted Departure, I think at least if we're talking, if we both believe Tyler's Tribe is going to win, you've got to find value in your exactas and trifectas. I think the 7 Frosted Departure is a good one. First of all, very experienced, 7 starts. He has 2 wins. But if you look where he's been racing, only one time since he broke his maiden did he drop back down out of stakes ranks, and he won at Churchill Downs by over 9 lengths. He's not, hasn't shown to be of that stakes caliber to win, but the Ed Brown Stakes last time out at Churchill Downs, that was Future Stars of Tomorrow 2 card, where you had all of the best 2-year-olds that were in training for the dirt. Churchill doesn't have a turf course. They were all waiting and targeting that week because it's massive purses. Everybody's paying attention to it. It's kind of the focal point of the horse racing world that day, and ran a very respectable third. Powerful, looks like he's going to be, a really useful, I won't say one of Asmussen's best sprinters in 2023, but a very useful, very good sprinter to be running behind there. And if you scratch off the Street Sense and the Breeders' Futurity when he was trying to go 2 turns, and he's clearly looks like he's a sprinter, he really fits here. So I think if you wanted to do like a 5-7 or if you want to go 5-3-7 for a cold trifecta, I think that's a good play here.
Yeah, I like the 7 a little bit as well underneath. We talked about a little bit with my dad on the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. We talked about Oaklawn for the most part, and we kind of agreed that 7 is definitely one that looks like has a lot of class compared to the rest of these. Not saying this is the most classy horse you've ever seen, but class compared to the rest of them. The last one I would mention is the 4. How did he do that? This horse won at Zia last time out, going 6 furlongs by 2.5 in a stakes race. It's comparable-ish, right? I mean, it's not Oaklawn, but that card at Zia was pretty good. It was kind of their big card of the year. Any thought about the 4 whatsoever for you?
This feels like the Asmussen horse that you'd want to play kind of, early in the Oaklawn meet before, the big horses really start gearing up here. You mentioned that stakes win. $190,000 they paid for this son of Good Magic, and the Robesons are one of Asmussen's best clients. They had Jackie's Warrior, so they know what a good looking dirt sprinter looks like for Asmussen. I don't know. I know that he won at 6 and he won pretty handily there, but I'm worried that this might actually be a little too short, going 5.5 furlongs there. That's going to be right up Tyler's Tribe's angle. It's going to be right up the 3's angle. The 4 with Good Magic, who won the Bluegrass, second in the Kentucky Derby, won the Haskell, all mile and eighth mile and a quarter races. It feels like this horse maybe is better at 7, which is where it broke the maiden at Churchill back in September.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that 5.5 might be a little sharp. And I think that's why ultimately we are going to put Tyler's Tribe on top. We've kind of got the same idea. We're going to use Tyler's Tribe on top. If you remember, I think it was it this? No, it was last week. I did a video on how to make money on short prices. And that's how you're going to do it. If you like Tyler's Tribe, put him on top of exactas and try to get a price involved in there if you like it. So we'll see if we could do it. We've each got kind of our separate ideas on who to play underneath. All right, let's go on, Magic, to Saturday at Oaklawn Park. Let's go on to race 7. It's the Ring the Bell Stakes, first stakes race of the meet for a Saturday, second stakes race of the meet overall. Ring the Bell Stakes, 6 furlongs, $150,000 purse for the 3-year-olds, a field of 7. And my dad kind of described it like this. They all kind of look the same. What do you think here about the Ring the Bell Stakes?
They all look the same, but this is like hitting Oaklawn bingo. We made fun of Miller. We talked about Diodoro. How about Carl Broberg? We'll hit all three of them right here on the same show in a matter of a couple of minutes. The one Flash of Mischief, I think, is a pretty big standout horse that was running on the secondary circuits, right? Lone Star, Prairie Meadows, Canterbury, Remington Park, but looked really good for Broberg. And then they sent him to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Now, it was way in over his head, but I don't think that many people really took him that seriously. Now we're back on Lasix. We're back at a very suitable spot. If 7-2 holds, I'd be surprised. But if 7-2 holds, I feel like that's really great value on a horse that's got speed from the rail, and Christian Torres has been aboard his last 3 starts.
It sounds like we're on the same horse because I really love Flash of Mischief in this race as well. So, my deal was that race 2 back at Remington. And as people know, I watch Remington every night, but this was actually on Oklahoma Derby Day when they ran the David and Vance 2 back there, the race that Flash Mischief won 2 back at Remington. So some of you that don't watch Remington every day may have actually seen this one. It was just too good to ignore. He absolutely dusted that field. Listen, it wasn't like the greatest field you ever see, but at the same time, you didn't look at that field and go, okay, I don't know, if he's like, I don't think he's like 1-5. As a matter of fact, he was 9-2. So it was a kind of an open field and he absolutely dominated. So I liked him there. Obviously, Breeders' Cup Sprint way, way above. This is the perfect spot, right? These horses are okay, but none of them are really going to stand out and are going to scare you. I'm with you. Hopefully 7-2 stands out or holds up on Flash of Mischief. I really like this horse. Anybody else in here you're looking at?
The number 6 Kavad is one that we've seen, show up in a lot of his spots. He was at Oaklawn Park trying to go 2 turns in the Rebel, the Arkansas Derby, and he showed a lot of speed. And you see that in the summertime, Chris Hartman's like, all right, I don't think he's going to ultimately be a 2-turn horse. Cuts him back to 6 and has 3 very, respectable efforts. Last time out in the Bet on Sunshine Stakes at Churchill Downs. I feel like that if you take away Flash of Mischief, this feels like a more comparable field than what the Bet of Sunshine Stakes was. So that fits for him rather. So I like that. Francisco Arrieta always does well at Oaklawn Park. Chris Hartman's always good at Oaklawn Park. So I would play a Kavad. He is going to be having to face older horses here. And the 2 times so far as a 3-year-old, he faced them. He didn't win, but that effort at Ellis Park, 3 back against older horses, it was decent and it was off of a layoff. He showed good improvement there. So, if he gets that effort that he had 2 back, he's going to be pretty tough to hold off.
It's one of those situations with him. And again, you don't really know if these morning lines are going to be accurate when they actually go to post, but boy, 2-1 feels short, right? I mean, you kind of hate to play him at 2-1. He's only won once this year. He did win at Oaklawn last year in the Advent Stakes, the race we just talked about. So this is a 3-year-old version of that basically. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. The price is going to probably determine if I try to use him underneath or just kind of try to keep him off. I think we need to mention at least the number 2 Long Range Toddy, who has not won a race now in forever. The 2019
the
Rebel Stakes was the last time he's won. Oddly enough, he upsets Improbable in that race and then hasn't won since. What do you think underneath, though? This horse at times will jump up and run a huge race, and it's like, wow, he almost did it. Do you have any interest underneath or just, with him?
I don't have any interest ever with Long Range Toddy. It just, nothing about it makes sense. It just, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, Willis Horton Racing had this. Willis Horton had it, and then they were like, no, we're good. We don't need the horse anymore.
Yeah. It's not good. I mean, and that's crazy. He's a beautiful horse. Every time you see him, it's like, who is that in the post parade? You look down, it's like, oh, I didn't know him because he's 40-1 Long Range Toddy. Every once in a while, Magic, he'll jump up and run one. It could be.
My favorite thing about Long Range Toddy before you move on is that it gets forgotten about in history. This is the horse that Maximum Security smashed into in the Kentucky Derby first that caused the whole chain reaction that ended up causing his disqualification. If he doesn't, beat the piss out of Long Range Toddy in the far turn and then come back in and hit Code of Honor, you don't know what's going to happen in that spot.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So even more reason not to like a Long Range Toddy, right? Shoddy says, knowing Oaklawn, Long Range Toddy will win this going away. Fair point, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you play Oaklawn, you watch it every race every single day, so crazy stuff happens. But if crazy happens in here, God, I'd even take Boulder over Long Range Toddy.
That's just it. If we're talking about a win, I would too, right? Now, you're talking hitting the board. Okay, long range toddy kind of gets into discussion, but yeah, I mean, Boulder, that's a horse that has won, before in races kind of similar to this. So yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it's long range toddy's day. I think he will continue the losing streak. All right, let's go Oaklawn. One more race before we head off elsewhere. It's also on Saturday. It's the Mistletoe Stakes at Oaklawn Park. Gonna be race 9 on this card for the fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. 1 mile the distance here. Major note at Oaklawn: the 1 mile races begin and end at the 16th hole. So a short stretch in 1 mile races. It's a 2-turn race with a short stretch. Remember that for the meet. That's how they'll run all the races. Anyway, $150,000 purse here. Field of 7. I really like one in here. Let's see if you agree. Who do you like on top, I should say?
I remember. I was trying to remember. I was like, who did you like? I edited the video, but it was I couldn't remember. I'll let you talk about that horse because I've got a price horse that I really like. That if yours doesn't fire for whatever reason, Will Secret. We're back at Oaklawn Park. We're 2 for 2 here. We won the Martha Washington Stakes by 5 1/4 lengths over Coach in second, who's Coach. I know you love to pick a lot of times at Oaklawn Park or in spots like this, but that was at the mile distance. So finishing at the 16th hole, came back and won the Honeybee Stakes again. The next spot, she took, had Dallas Stewart kept putting her into grade 1 races, and it wasn't the right thing to do. And the owners were like, "Oh, we'll give him to the coach, D-Way and Lucas." Lucas decides, all right, I know what to do with this horse. Gets her spotted properly. Size was aboard the last 2 races. She ran really well, but 2 back, she got beat by a horse that I know you absolutely love here.
Yeah, and that's why I did not pick Will Secret on top. I'll talk Will Secret for a second. I think you're right. The horse is running pretty well, kind of regaining that form. Last time out was a pretty good race. At 10-1, you better take a long look at this one for sure. At least put her underneath, and I will definitely be using this one underneath in some spots. However, why I did not pick this horse to win, because I really like the number 6, Leda Vida. I think this horse is maybe a budding star and beat the horse that you just talked about, Will Secret, last time out pretty handily. Leda Vida was came over from Chile and was running well, and then showed up at Churchill Downs 2 races back for her first race in the United States, dusted an allowance field. It's like, all right, I like it. Again, goes to allowance field at Keeneland, dusted them again. And I was like, okay, I think this horse is really, really good. Magic, I think this is a really smart spot to start her in stakes. It's hard sometimes going from that allowance ranks to the stakes ranks. Really logical spot for her. I think the horse is just simply a little bit better than everybody else in this field. Everybody else kind of has their problems. I think the 6, Leda Vida, makes a big move on the turn and gets them in the stretch. What were your thoughts on her?
I mean, it's so rare that you see a horse come from South America, especially a dirt horse, come into America and just win the first start by 3 lengths and then win the next start by almost 3 lengths, looking even better. And those buyer figures really stand out. So we a lot of times when we're handicapping races where like the 2 back for Leda Vida, we're like, who did she be? What was she doing? She's shown us twice there and who she is and what she can do. Now, the question is, can she do it at Oaklawn Park? Because Oaklawn's a very quirky track. It's, we're stopping at the 16th pole. She is a horse that's going to be coming from really far off. And so watch the price on her because I'm excited for her, but I'm worried at that price, at this track and configuration, it might not set up for her very well. I think a third horse, if you want to talk about the 2 Ice Orchid, it's a 3-year-old filly taking on Olders, but you said it perfectly in your preview for this race, Aaron. Johnny Ortiz came out like just on fire and kept the fire going all meet. He had a really great summer. You see he's clicking at 19% throughout the year. Barbara Rhodes trainer. Everybody who's a Barbara Rhodes fan, shoddy. Ice Orchid, shortly stable, by the way. Arkansas native John Anthony loves running horses, loves running the Arkansas breds at Oaklawn. So homecoming for this horse who made her first 4 career starts here. I think this is a good spot for her. She seems to be in form to hit the board. It's just a matter of, can she get that close to the 6?
Hey, you know who else liked Ice Orchid? Papa Dude. He likes this horse a lot for Saturday, and he thinks that price will hold because of some of those other horses in the race. I'm with you. I'm glad you mentioned Johnny Ortiz, a really, really, really good trainer. I mentioned on the last show I did that everybody knows the Ortiz jockeys, but not everybody knows this John Ortiz, the trainer. He's very good, and he is very, very good early in this meet. Like you said, he usually starts this thing on fire. So good comment there. I like it. We'll talk about Coach real quick because it seems like we're always picking Coach, but we're kind of against her after that last race, right?
Yeah, well, looking at her recent form, her best races were all in the slop. I don't know what the weather forecast is going to be, but it's just too hard to figure out what kind of coach is going to show up. And at 2-1, I don't want to pay 2-1 or less on her to find out in this spot. I'm going to pass on her completely in the top 3.
I'm with you. I'm going to try to beat her, and hopefully the coach's horse, Will Secret, runs well and helps us out there. And hopefully I'm right on Leda Vita, and hopefully we're both right on there on Ice Orchid. I almost really screwed that one up. All right, let's go on. Let's go on to your neck of the woods, Magic. Let's go to Los Alamitos. Their thoroughbred, little thoroughbred meet opens up on Friday. Let's go to Saturday. We do have a grade 1, believe it or not, and it is the Starlet Stakes on Saturday at Los Al. It'll be race 9, a field of 7 lined up for this one. I'll let you take it away here since this is your track out in California.
3 Bafferts, a couple Gervins, some maidens. Yeah, this is Los Al racing right here. We're in one standout, and that's the 3 phase it. 7 to 5 on the morning line. If you can get that overseas, get it right now. You got a better chance of 5 to 7 than 7 to 5. That debut at Del Mar was just impeccable. Pratt was aboard and never once looked worried aboard her. She pressed the pace that was pretty quick, sub 22, 44 and 3. One under a complete hold in a blazing time for that level and for what they were trying to do. Del Mar's dirt course plays a little slower in the winter because it's not, the sand's just, it's not as hot. So the sand just doesn't move as well under their feet. And immediately from that spot, people who are in the know in California went Starlet winner right there. So who am I to doubt the people like Jeff Siegel, who think that she might be winning the Starlet off of that debut? Now, she does have to go beyond 6 furlongs for the first time. And there are some horses in here that have done well going 2 turns, maybe not necessarily have won, but have done well going 2 turns. So, she's not going to be a complete slam dunk in terms of just on paper, but knowing Baffert, knowing that, that he wins the Starlet, I think the last 27 years he's won this race. It's so hard to go against him here.
I think she'll probably moonwalk backwards in the stretch, honestly. Like, it was the kind of debut where it was really good, but it's like you could tell there was a little bit more left in the tank. Like, she wasn't all out, got bet down like the good ones do of his and ran to the looks and ran to the price. Yeah, I like FaZe is going to win this one pretty easily. Anybody else? I mean, the other Baffert, maybe the other Baffert, or what do you think underneath?
The one doing it the hard way is the maiden in here, but did run a pretty good second at Del Mar, going 2 turns in her first route try. But I'm actually I'm going to take a Mike Samich angle. I'm going to go with the 6 for my second choice here. Los Al's dirt course is not like Del Mar. It's not like Santa Anita. It plays pretty well for turf horses coming in. I think the 6 Pride of the Nile is going to be sneaky here. Debuted in a 2-turn turf stakes, lost to Comanche Country, but only by 3.5 lengths, finishing 4th in a field of 11. Comanche Country won her next stakes as well, and then went to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. She didn't do that hot, but she's a California horse in the Breeders' Cup on turf. You didn't expect a whole lot. We bring her back to California, drop to the maiden ranks, get a win, going 2 turns on the turf. Right back on the turf, 2 turns, get another win. JJ Hernandez is back aboard for the 3rd straight time. I think she's going to be pretty sneaky here. And if there's for whatever reason, if FaZe isn't the one, doesn't end up getting the job done, I think 6 is most likely.
Yeah, I think you're right that Los Alamitos turf does definitely play to speed. So, the Los Alamitos dirt does play to turf horses. I'll try it eventually here to get it right. And you're right. I mean, the horses look very good the last couple. So we'll see. Could be interesting to see a non-Baffert horses get up there and kind of get the job done. I wanted to ask you about, I have the 1 in second, by the way. I think the horse will like the stretch. I wanted to ask you about the 7 Blessed Touch. I really like that horse last time out. Got smoked. Was I just dumb to like that horse?
You weren't dumb to like her in the Des Yarnez. I think she's a 1-turn horse. I think if you liked her here, that's where I'm going to have concerns. And Los Al, not only does the dirt play sometimes better to turf horses than to dirt horses, but it's also the longest stretch in North America in terms of a dirt course. So it's right up there with Churchill and Belmont. So you've got a sprinter, like she might be in the lead off the turn or right there with Feza. but she's got a whole, like 7 football fields to still go. And you saw what happened in the Des Arnaz going one turn, just right on by. I think Blessed Touch is probably going to finish off the board here.
Well, that's not good because I put her in third. Michael says Faiza kissed him, so she will win. Is Michael they're both named Mike. Is Michael the new Saratoga Slim of the West? That's the question.
You know, it's starting to turn out that way. He's down in the paddock at the tracks in California more often than I am now. He's getting all the inside information. So we need to do let's see, can't be Saratoga Slim. Santa Anita Skippy? I don't know. We'll workshop that one.
We'll work on that.
Santa Anita Skip. There we go.
Okay, well, that's it. That's it for the previews. We got a short kind of week this week, and then we'll be back, right? So we'll be back full swing next week with actually we have the Fantasy League draft, and then we'll be full back with the previews. All right, Magic. Any other final words before we move on?
Well, I did prepare a little video for everybody. If you're not familiar with the Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy League, it's a little introduction video, so we'll play that. It's a few minutes long, but I hope everybody will enjoy it. Aaron seemed to enjoy it when I asked him to sign off on it earlier, so we can play that video, and then we'll be back and we'll do the fantasy draw after that.
Okay, before you do that, I got to do this first.
A stupid, naive, silly little goose.
All right, Magic talked about it. I'll let him set it up. Okay, Magic, take it away. The stream is yours.
All right. Well, we're gonna pull ourselves out because otherwise it still picks up our mics, and I don't want all of your laughing and guffawing to pick up. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy this little intro video for the Racing Dudes Triple Crown.
And now, all rise for the reigning, defending, undisputed Triple Crown Fantasy Champions of the World, the Magic Mike Show!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy League. As your defending champions, let me first tell you what an honor it is for the Magic Mike Show to be here, gracing your airwaves with our presence. Hey, maybe this will be what finally puts Blinkers Off back ahead of the Magic Mike Show in the ratings. And maybe not. I doubt any of you can handle being on top of this stallion right here. On behalf of my esteemed colleague, Mr. Michael Q. Samich, we want to first thank everyone in the league from last year for donating their money to be able to help purchase this beautiful 100% gold Racing Dudes Fantasy League Championship belt, adorned with every single one of the horses that helped bring us the trophy this year. We love a horse here that you guys are complete and utter idiots for not drafting by this point. Somebody took Rocket Dog. Guess what? He's not even going to win the Gun Runner on Sunday. Do you know who's going to win the Gun Runner? It's a horse named Epicenter for Steve Asmussen. This horse is the goods. Look out. Epicenter's coming at us. Right, Mike?
Yeah, all the things I love. Asmussen and Rosario. What could go wrong?
I don't have to deal with all this bullshit anymore. I'm just going to hand things over to Mike Samich because I got to meet my drug dealer in a little bit. So, Mike Samich, take it away. Who are we going here next?
Well, we've got a trainer down in Florida who's really cooking right now. Started off the meet really hot. We're going with the Kathy Joseph Jr. horse, White Abario. Gonna dominate that Florida circuit, baby. Come on!
Oh yeah! We're gonna go with Gilded Age for Bill Mott. We love the fact that this horse first 3 starts lost to Major General, Rattle and Roll, Giant Game. 4th start as the Blinkers, wins very well. This is a Medaglia d'Oro out of a Bernardini mare who won the Grade 1 Chandelier as a 2-year-old, was a stakes-winning dirt router at 4.
We learned our lesson. We don't take Bill Motts in the first round anymore. No more Muchos. We wait till the 5th round to take him. He's going to rack up some points for us. This is the easy dub, baby. Let's go.
We'll see you at the top of the point standings, bitches! Now you might be asking yourself, well, Magic's here. Where's Mike? Well, Mike chose to use his half of your money to take horse name pronunciation lessons from Manu. That's actually why he isn't here right now. They're practicing for the draft next week. And speaking of the draft, let's look at our competition in this league. Let's start with the team who always drafts first overall, but never knows what to do with it. John and Ryan, welcome back. Glad to have you in the league again. Hey guys, remind me, how did your first overall pick in this league go for you last year?
Ryan, you've got the number 1 pick. I know you and John have been talking about it. Who are you going to go? Who's number 1?
We were shocked to get the number 1 pick. And with this pick, we take Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner Corniche. And hopefully we'll have better luck with this Baffert draftee than we did with McKinsey and with Life is Good.
Whoopsies! Next up, we've got Grandpa Freebeers. I know you're elderly and they like to take it easy on you, but you really should have been arrested for what you made your poor wife do last year.
The second pick in the first round, Monique, who is it?
Smile Happy.
I mean, that pick looked good for about as long as Smile Happy could last on the track, which is about 45 seconds, also known as a good night for Jared. And speaking of Jared, oh boy, your draft last year, one for the ages. Do yourself and everyone else a favor. Don't show up to the draft this year. I mean, it worked for you 2 years ago. We didn't have to see your ugly mug, and you ended up winning the championship despite not actually drafting any of your own horses. I mean, seriously, which one of these horses from last year are you the most proud of drafting? Is it Emmanuel? Is it Rockefeller? Is it Command Performance, Stellar Tap, Wit? Got an idea. How about this year you try drafting horses that don't suck? Next up, we got Geist. Buddy, I gotta hand it to you. You started out the draft last year so well. You did so much better. You took Mo Donegal. He was great. He wins the Belmont Stakes, one of the top 3-year-olds last year. And then after you took Mo Donegal, you just turned back into the same old Geist. Your next 4 horses made a combined 4 starts during the fantasy season, 0 wins, 0 stakes placings, 0 hope. Guys, I know you're still one of the newer teams in the league, so maybe you haven't figured out that the main purpose is to earn points with good horses. Now, someone who actually did learn from their past mistakes is Vinny, Real Dynasty Picks. He gets the Most Improved award. Yeah, everybody give Vinny a round of applause. Most Improved, A, because he got rid of the dead weight that was Nick. B, all 5 of his draftees, they actually had names this year instead of hit numbers. I mean, it's really sad how low Vinny's bar is set, but hey, he's not my monkey, that ain't my zoo. Wait a minute, is this true? Kelby and Evil Stevel are joining forces this year? Wow. Talk about the blind leading the blind. Kelby and Stevel are like that combo you order at Taco Bell at 3 a.m. and then it ruins your whole week because you can't get off the toilet.
Merry Christmas! Dinner was full!
And speaking of poop, Dan's been in this league as long as I have, but can anyone remember a time when Dan's team wasn't in last? Yeah, me neither. Now, last year we brought Michael on board thinking that might help Dan finally flush his demons, and it turns out Michael's opinions were as welcome as a porcupine at a nudist colony. Now, the good news for Kelby, Stevel, Dan, Michael, and everybody else in this league who sucks, we got a new team this year. Maybe they'll also suck. I don't know. Everybody give a warm welcome to Shoddy and Davey, 2 newbies whose combined horse racing knowledge is as pitiful as a 3-legged dog. But hey, whenever you kids get discouraged, and trust me, playing against Mike and I, it's gonna happen a lot. Just remember, you asked to be here. And finally, Aaron, the dictator. Buddy, your team last year was exciting as a mashed potato sandwich. You could screw up a 2-car funeral as badly as you draft. Can you please try drafting horses that aren't just gonna finish 3rd and 4th in every single stakes race this year? Try and find somebody that actually has a chance of winning. And on that note, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Make sure you guys come back Thursday, December 15th for more of the Magic Mike Show reign for the Racing Dudes Triple Crown Fantasy League. It'll be live on Blinkers Off. Tune in to see us. And until then, thank you, bye. Yeah! Woo! Let's go! Fantasy time! All right!
That was very
Who's
good.
ready?
That was way better than last year.
I just
I
love
love the
petting
belt.
this so much.
I love the belt.
Oh, all of that hard-earned money you gave me for this. That's what makes it even better.
I absolutely loved it. I loved what you did this year. Last year you were good. This year you were great. That's the difference.
Listen, I have my Lord and Savior Maxwell Jacob Friedman to thank for that.
I know. Matt, Mike asked a good question. How was that not at the Breeders' Cup? I need that belt bad.
You have no idea how many months this has been sitting, waiting to be debuted at the right exact moment. I did think about the Breeders' Cup. I just thought, we'll wait. I don't want to take attention away from the World Championships with everybody focusing on this beautiful hunk of 50 pounds of gold over my shoulder. Let's just wait until it's proper. We'll let the Breeders' Cup horses like Flightline have their little moment in the sun. Flightline's gone. They're all gone. Now's what matters right here.
I'm with Shoddy. I'm so hyped after that video. You sent it to me earlier, and I was like, all right, we're back. We're ready for this. And this is going to be great. Yes, you channeled your inner MJF. As Dennis said, maybe it's Magic Jacob Freeman. And
the
little
like
Jim Cornette at the end was perfect. The Jim Cornette was great. So all around, great job. But Magic, you're going to lose this year. I'm sorry. But we're going to draw for the position. So here's the deal. We're going to draw the 10 names now for the draft positions for the draft that we will do next week. So next week at 7 p.m. Central Time, we will do our annual Triple Crown Fantasy League draft. We'll have 50 horses drafted that night. The other Curtis was on saying, boy, there were some bad horses drafted. If you missed the start of the show, at that time last year, nobody had any idea what was going to happen. I think there'll be some more. We have more knowledge of some horses. Let's put it that way this year. So we'll see what happens. But all right, Magic, are you ready for the draft order?
I'm ready. We've proven time and again, it really doesn't matter what happens with the order here because John and Ryan are going to screw up the first overall pick anyway.
Okay, well, there you go. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got the random generator, right? And so I've got the teams numbered 1 through 10. So I am 1, John and Ryan 2, Paul 3, Geist 4, the Magic Mike Show 5, Jared 6, Dan and Michael 7, Evil Stevel and Kelby 8. That's a new-ish team. Real Dynasty 9, and then Shoddy and Davey are 10. So here's what I'll do. I'll hit the generator right there. And so for this is not the real thing, but this example. So it drew 9. So it'd be Real Dynasty. And then I'll hit the generator again, and it'll come up with their draft position. Does that make sense?
It sounds a lot more fair than the bullshit drawn out of a hat that nobody can see until it suddenly appears.
Okay. Thankfully I'm going to ignore you. Thankfully for Vinny, that was just a practice, but he would have number 10 if that was real. Okay. It's real. Here we go, Magic. Here we go.
Let's do it.
The team is 5, 2, 3, 4. The Magic Mike Show. So you know your fate right here with one click of the button. Here we go. Magic.
I can get out of here. I can get out of here right after this. Actually, this is perfect.
No,
I got better, more important things to do right now. So
I'm sorry, you have to say. Here we go. Number 5. Here we go. The Magic Mike Show will get 3. The Magic Mike Show will get number 3. What do you think?
That's excellent. At the top of the show, I was saying that there's about 4 horses that after who is going to go first overall. There's about 3 other horses that we think are really solid. So we like our chances here. It also gives us a little room to play if we want to get active in the trade market. I know that's happened the last 2 years in the draft that the early spots have been swapped around a little bit. So we are open for business.
Yeah, your partner, Mike Somich, says that's great. So we're happy right now at the Magic Mike Show. Number 3 for Magic Mike Show. Here we go. Next team will be number 2. That is John White and Ryan Stillman. All right, here we go. John and Ryan, they will draw where? Number 3. Try again. Number 6. They are
That sucks.
John and Ryan have always ended up number 1 somehow. Number 6 for John and Ryan. Okay, next team. Here we go. Number 3, Paul Free Beers Withrow. So Paul Withrow, here we go. Free Beers, where will he draw? Number 4 for Paul. So Paul draws number 4. Pretty good spot, I think, there for old Polyball Nuts. All right,
it gets Grandpa Free Beers in early and gets him back out for the Bluebird special, and you can still be in bed at 7. That's great.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's what we're here for. All right, let's go. Let's see. Who was the 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kelby and Evil Stevel. All right. Kelby and Evil Stevel. The blind leading the blind, as you described them. Okay, let's see where they're drawing. Number 2. Uh-oh.
How fitting.
Explain. Don't do that. All right. Kelby and Evil Stevel. Number 2. That is a good draw for them. All right, let's
your show that'll get canceled, not mine.
Let's see. Team 5, that was you guys. Team 1, me.
I know everybody wants us, but it's okay.
All right. Here we go. Myself. Number 1. Give me number 1 again. Come on.
Hey!
Yes!
All right. And the Remington Springboard Mile winner goes first overall in the Triple Crown Fantasy League.
Now, we've been doing this 10 years. This is the first time I've ever been with the number 1. No, second time. I'm sorry, with the number 1 pick.
Is this the first time since we've expanded to 10?
I think so. The first time I picked Independence Hall first, who got me like 10 points. Yeah, I don't know. Extra Anejo could be number 1. I have Forte ranked number 1 though, so we'll see. All right, let's keep going.
I don't think drafting is your forte.
Number 6, Jared. Jared, number 6. All right, let's see what he gets. 7. Jared will draw 7th. All right. Moving on. We got to finish this up here. Let's see. Who's number 7 on the list? 5, 6. Dan and Michael. Are you ready? This is important. Number 2, already taken. Number 10.
Now, if they were a good team that knew what they were doing, they're picking on the horn, and we do snake style. So you're going to have back-to-back picks in 2 different rounds. So it could work out for them if they were a team that knew what they were doing.
Well, big if. All right. So we have 3 spots left. The 5, the 8, and the 9. And we have Geist, we have Real Dynasty, and then we have Shoddy and Davey. So that's who's left. Okay.
5, 8, 9, you said?
5, 8, and 9. Yes. So here we go. And the 4 is Geist. So Geist is the team number 4. Now let's see what they get here. What he gets. He'll get 9. Okay. Geist will be number 9. So that leaves 8 and 5. So Vinny and Shoddy and
Dennis has a good suggestion there too. If you don't want to keep spinning the wrong numbers, if you just make it 1 and 2 and assign them.
Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, I've done it. Team 1 will be Real Dynasty. Team 2 will be Shoddy and Davey. Okay, here we go. 1 or 2. 2. So it's Shoddy and Davey. So they got the 5 and the 8 left. So if you draw a 1, you get the 5. If you draw a 2, you get the 8. That makes sense? All right, here we go. 5 or 8. Here we go. 5. You guys will get the 5.
Called her shot.
What?
You know, this is a good sign for the fans. She called her shot a couple of minutes ago. She wanted 5. She got 5. This is a good sign.
All right.
This is as good as it's going to get, but it is a good sign for them.
Okay, let me read them off for you. Okay, I will draft first. Evil Stevel and Kelby second. The Magic Mike Show will be third. Paul will be fourth. Shoddy and Davey will be fifth. John and Ryan sixth. Jared Welch seventh. Real Dynasty eighth. Geist ninth. And then Dan and Michael 10th. That's it. That's the list. So what are your thoughts, Magic?
I mean, you should have handicapped it and made us pick like 6th or 7th. You make us pick 3rd. We're going to repeat. It's that simple. We're going to repeat. It's okay.
All right. Well, I don't think you're going to. Do you know why?
A stupid, naive, silly little goose.
Sorry. I just had to do it one more time.
That's all right. Get your laughs in now.
All right. Well, speaking of laughs, you can go over to the Magic Mike Show here coming up in 12 minutes and see if they can get a couple right on their pick forces for this Saturday at Gulfstream Park. It's going to be.
Well, we always get a couple right. It's never an issue getting a couple right. It's a pick 5. That's the problem.
You're right. Oh, you're doing a pick 5. That's even tougher. All right, give us a little preview and then we'll get out of here, Magic.
We are going to be previewing Gulfstream Park Saturday, late pick 5 on December 10th. It is the 3 races are on turf, including the Way to Wild Stakes. You've got Delight coming back from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf, a really fantastic field. The other 2 races on synthetic. Real happy to have Gulfstream Park turf racing back. And if you haven't been following it, they completely tore it down over this summer, shut down the turf course, rebuilt it to be similar to Santa Anita's turf course, getting extremely rave reviews ever since it first opened. So very excited to see it. You've got the Ortiz brothers will be there on Saturday. It's going to be a great time. Lots of competitive races. And I have no idea if Mike and I agree on pretty much anything right now. So probably going to have, there you go. He's got a 20-1 on top in one of his races. So Mike's already gone full Gulfstream and we haven't even started previewing it yet.
I don't blame him. I think it's a good idea. All right, guys, that's all the time we have. We got to get Magic out of here. Thanks everybody for joining us this week, and that beautiful, beautiful belt that Magic has. Congratulations. Hopefully you get to keep it, Magic. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Good luck if you're playing this weekend, and we'll see you over at the Magic Mike Show here in about 10 minutes. See you guys.